Welcome to Movies in the Making, everyone! If you would like to hear about how films were done behind the scenes, please like down below and subscribe to this channel for more videos, including what films you think should be talked about. In today's episode, we are going to be looking at the 1975 dystopian sports film Rollerball, released by United Artists and directed by Norman Jewison. Here, we will dive deep into the story of the production of this film. This started off as a short story by the screenwriter, but then got made into a film that was so popular many fans imitated it. To celebrate its 50th anniversary, we shall explore how the whole thing came together. Now, sit back and enjoy the show. You are all in for a fast ride. William Harrison's short story Rollerball Murder, first a short story made for Esquire's September 1973 issue and a standout piece in his 1975 collection Rollerball, emerged as the culmination of a gradual creative journey through increasingly dark and dystopian themes. The collection spans stories written between 1968 and 1973, beginning with nostalgic and redemptive tales like The Pinball Machine and The Hermit, but soon shifts toward bleaker narratives exploring dehumanization, existential crisis, and a destructive search for meaning. Stories such as The Blurb King and The Good Ship Erasmus reflect this thematic descent, portraying characters navigating hollow, often dystopian worlds. Rollerball Murder, although set in a post-apocalyptic corporate-controlled future, stands out not just for its chilling vision but for its focus on character and existential struggle rather than elaborate world-building. Harrison crafted the story as a sharp, character-driven critique of societal decay, turning it into a powerful and unexpectedly popular mediation on personal freedom and meaning amid spectacle and violence. The 1975 film Rollerball was adapted from Harrison's short story and was scripted by Harrison himself. Director Norman Jewison was drawn to the story's provocative themes, crafting a dystopian vision of a near future set in 2018 where global corporations rule society and use a brutal sport, rollerball, a mix of roller derby, football, and motorcycles, as a tool of control. Though audiences became fascinated with the fictional sport, even prompting real-life interest from would-be promoters, Jewison refused to commercialize it, recognizing its distribution purpose, to demonstrate the futility of individualism. With its blend of stylized violence, social commentary, and unsettling prescience, Rollerball became both an action-packed spectacle and a chilling critique of corporate dominance, still resonant decades later. Determined to bring the dystopian tale to the screen, Jewison purchased the rights himself and hired Harrison, an English professor at the University of Arkansas, to collaborate on the screenplay. Known for his bold directorial choices in films like In the Heat of the Night, United Artists 1967, and Jesus Christ Superstar, Universal Pictures 1973, Jewison defended Rollerball as a critique of violence rather than an endorsement, insisting the film's intense action was necessary to convey its anti-violent message. He envisioned the project not only as a futuristic spectacle but as a sobering social commentary and personally championed it to production. After Jewison independently secured the story rights and assembled a creative team, United Artists agreed to distribute Rollerball, likely impressed by the director's track record and the unique, marketable concept. Filmed over 17 weeks in England and Germany, the production filled large-scale arena sequences with real stuntmen, roller derby athletes, and professional motorcyclists performing the brutal, choreographed matches. Technical achievements and visual scale of the film, combined with its timely themes of corporate control and the manipulation of mass entertainment, positioned it as a distinctive and ambitious release for the studio. Rollerball marked a bold and risky departure for director Jewison. He and Harrison shared concern about the merging of corporate power and violence entertainment. This shared vision fueled the film's dark, dystopian tone. Harrison wanted it more overtly repulsive while Jewison held back. Though they disagreed on the level of gore, the final product remained intense and controversial. With a brutal, deathmatch sport at its center, the film reflected Jewison's alarm after seeing real-world violence at hockey games and football matches. Harrison insisted on writing the script himself, negotiated a higher price for the rights, and Jewison backed the project despite its challenges. James Caan, fresh off The Godfather, Paramount Pictures 1972, had his jock instincts draw him to the role, though he later admitted he found parts of it emotionally dull and tedious. James Caan was cast in the film because Jewison saw him as the only actor at the time who embodied both physical toughness and emotional depth needed for the role. Jewison needed someone athletic enough to convincingly perform the intense demands of the futuristic sport. roller skating, gripping motorcycles, and enduring punishing action sequences. Caan, despite having no prior experience on skates, embraced the challenge fearlessly. His commitment to mastering the physicality of the role impressed Jewison, who noted Caan's intense nature extended to other sports as well. More importantly, Caan deeply understood the film's core message about corporate control and societal manipulation, grasping its emotional and thematic weight. His performance, combining swagger, sensitivity, and raw energy, made him the standout of the film and confirmed Jewison's belief that no other actor could have played the part so effectively. Rollerball was filmed primarily in Europe, with studio work completed at Pinewood Studios in the UK and major location shoots in Munich, Germany. The film's iconic Rollerball stadium scenes were shot at Rudi Siddelmeyer Hall, now known as the Audi Dome, a large circular arena originally constructed for the basketball during the 1972 Munich Olympics. Since 2011, the venue has served as home court for Bayern Munich's basketball team. Additional Munich locations were used to represent the futuristic corporate world, including the BMW building with its distinctive cylindrical towers, which stood in for the Energy Corporation's headquarters. For scenes involving the supercomputer Zero, where protagonist Jonathan E. seeks forbidden knowledge, filming took place at the League of Nations building in Geneva, Switzerland, further contributing to the film's sleek, modernistic aesthetic. James Caan faced significant physical challenges behind the scenes. Before filming began, he spent 4 arduous months in intensive training to master the demands of the sport, which include roller skating and performing complex stunts. Once on set at Munich's Olympic Arena, the steeply banked 13-foot track created additional risks, leading to numerous injuries among the cast. Caan himself suffered a separated shoulder and a damaged rib. The action sequences were so dangerous that Jewison feared someone might be killed during production. Despite the hazards, Caan committed fully to the role, embodying the physicality and intensity required to portray the film's central character, Jonathan E. One scene shot inside the futuristic-looking building in Germany originally built for the Olympic Games was stylized like a glossy, mall-like computer center to symbolize the commodification and trivialization of knowledge. Jewison explained that the library's sterile design and clerk's vacant demeanor reflect a society where access to real information is tightly restricted. The character of the circulation clerk, played by Nancy Blair, serves not as a true librarian, but as a bureaucratic functionary who delivers edited, summarized content rather than original texts, an intentional design meant to evoke the chilling parallels with censorship regimes of Nazi Germany, the Soviet Union, and even the United States. A more elaborate scene takes place in Geneva at a fictionalized World Library House in the real-life League of Nations building. Jewison intentionally contrasted the classical exterior with a cold, high-tech interior filled with fluorescent lighting and machinery to highlight the disconnect between tradition and modern information control. The librarian, portrayed by Ralph Richardson, represents a broken remnant of a once revered profession. Intellectual and well-meaning but ultimately powerless. His dialogue with Jonathan and the malfunctioning supercomputer Zero reveals that entire historical periods have been misplaced, and the central source of knowledge refuses to answer critical questions. Jewison drew inspiration from the HAL 9000 2001, A Space Odyssey, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, 1968, using Zero to underscore the danger of a single system controlling all information. As Jewison noted, this moment is where Jonathan fully grasps that he is trapped in a world without transparency or accountability, making these library scenes not just narrative devices but essential turning points in the film's emotional and ideological arc. Mark Rollerball Rocco was a pioneering British wrestler whose dynamic, fast-paced style had a lasting impact on the wrestling world, including his contributions to Rollerball through his namesake and inspiration. Known for his work on ITV's World of Sport and the original Black Tiger in New Japan Pro Wrestling, Rocco helped shape the junior heavyweight wrestling style that influences the sports of his day. His influence was widely recognized by the top WWE and NXT stars, who praised his innovative techniques, strong work ethic, and lasting legacy. Rocco's connection to Rollerball not only came from his wrestling fame but also helped cement the film's cultural impact, inspiring generations of performers and fans alike. Andre Previn, a celebrated composer and conductor best known for his versatility across classical music, jazz, and Hollywood film scores, became the composer for the film after a long and distinguished career in music. Born in Berlin and having fled Nazi Germany as a child, Previn moved to the United States where he quickly rose through the ranks at MGM. winning 4 Oscars by the age of 36 for his iconic films like Shishi, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, 1958, and My Fair Lady, Warner Brothers, 1964. Though he eventually left Hollywood to pursue classical music and conducting major orchestras worldwide, he still took on occasional film projects, with Rollerball marking one of his later film scores. As of the 19th of June 2025, Rollerball has a 57% critics rating on Rotten Tomatoes, a 56 out of 100 critic score on Metacritic, a 6.5 rating on IMDb, and a 3.3 rating on Letterboxd. The film's budget was $5 million and it grossed about $30 million following its initial release date of the 25th of June 1975. The film's impact extended far beyond its initial release. It developed a strong fan base, particularly among younger viewers who disturbingly began reenacting the violent sport in real life. Jewison, alarmed by this reaction, was approached by promoters eager to launch actual rollerball leagues, a proposal he flatly refused, as it contradicted the film's warning about commercialization of violence. Ironically, the film's core message was lost on many viewers, especially in the United States, where its spectacle overshadowed its social commentary. Rollerball even became a cultural landmark, inspiring a wave of violent sports-themed video games. Its poorly received 2002 remake further emphasized the enduring and often misunderstood legacy of the original. A video game adaptation of Rollerball, developed by MGM Interactive, was initially planned for release in the late 1990s but was delayed until at least mid-1998 and ultimately never materialized. The game was intended to let players manage brutal rollerball teams made up of strikers, bikers, and guards, with gameplay centered around scoring with a large metal ball in a no-rules, violence-driven arena. Despite the concept aligning well with the film's chaotic energy, the delay and a lack of follow-through meant the game never reached the market. And that wraps up our deep dive into the making of Rollerball. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to stay up to date on all things movies in the making. Let us know in the comments what you think of Rollerball, or if you have any favorite moments from that film we didn't touch upon, or what films you would like to hear covered by this channel. Also be sure to check out our community page, where we announce what films will be talked about by this channel each week. New posts arrive every Friday. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all next time on Movies in the Making. We'll be talking about Back to the Future, Universal Pictures 1985, and more films to follow along the way. Tune in for more Movies in the Making as we uncover stories by cinema's most unforgettable films. This has been Jason Scotchmer, film enthusiast and passionate about the arts.